The example posted here from my new book, Sound Bath Conversations, is the subject of my practice material today and the potential maybe inspiration if, let's say it was a conversation starter, if I was going to be recording a sound meditation, for example. A question that I frequently see and hear from practitioners is, what is the best blank? And it's some sort of combination of what is the best three bowls to start with? What is the best gong to go with my drum? These are just examples. But it seems like practitioners are searching for a finite answer within an incredibly subjective field. And my book, Sound Bath Conversations, is meant to be as if you're sitting at this sound cafe, right? And you're having your espresso or your coffee or your matcha. And maybe you're eavesdropping just a little bit on the table next to you. And it's a lovely couple. And you want to hear what's happening in their conversation. And so this whole book is designed around the question of, well, what happens when? And it has around 2,000 exercises, which are variables to help you navigate that for you, for what instruments you have, for what mallets or areas of interest you want to focus on. And so you can see in the exercise here that there are two variables, an A variable and a B variable. Now, these are not specific pitches. These are just, like I just said, variables. So you can assign them to whatever you're working on. So this book is incredibly malleable in that sense. And so today, normally I would just select two instruments that I want to focus on my technique or my touch or a combination of maybe balance between the two dynamics within a room, whatever it is that I'm focusing on. Even if it's just the exploration, the curiosity of what happens when these two voices sit down together and have a conversation. So I created this instrument generator thing online for myself, and I put in all my instruments and mallets and things that I want to focus on. And so today, for the purposes of this video, the generator has selected for you as variable A, voice A, is the E3, so E third octave, E natural, Himalayan singing bowl. And the B voice is going to be played by the seed chimes. So, and I randomly selected this contradictions page, so very cool. And so the gist here is that one voice is going to sort of slowly take charge and take up more space in the conversation, and the other will sort of retreat or allow the other voice to take up space. And you could even play the inverse of this as well. But I'll present it to you as it's written, what we call as the ink shows. And the timing is totally subjective. It depends on your mood, your energy, how strict you want to be. And often the instruments that you're working with will determine how much space actually takes place. But this is just the rough parameter. So here we go. So, having just played the exercise, one of the ways that I recommend to reflect in order to grow is to record yourself, just like I just did, to listen back and then take some notes, just some observations about what you noticed about that particular conversation. And maybe your observations, having listened from an outsider perspective rather than a facilitator, might be slightly different. What I noticed as I began facilitation of this particular conversation is that my singing bowl in this case, because it has a wonderful sustain to it, really commands with its voice. So even though the seed chimes would come in with a response, the bowl wasn't really making space for that conversation. It really didn't yield to another idea, to another point of view. However, they sort of entrained together and created this common ground. And so up to me as the facilitator to sort of find a balance within the quality of sound, the presence, and the quality of touch to sort of match and allow those two voices to blend, because that Himalayan bowl was going to be persistently present in the timbre of the seed chimes. Now, this would be a completely different experience with two other instruments. And so that is the whole essence. And so for me, sometimes it's nice to get out of my own head, to set a piece of paper up in front of myself with two little instruments. We are so quick to focus on quantity over quality, and this is a book of quality that invites you to slow down and be present with the quality of your experience, with the quality of your instrument, and the quality of how they interact with one another. And what does that energy mean for your meditations or your sound baths or your sound therapy sessions? Sound Bath Conversations, a technical primer. It's the first method book of its kind. Develop confidence and fluency in your sound bath meditations. It's got everything that you need to get started. It's, like I said, almost 2,000 exercises and meditations, as well as technical instruction, tips for mallets, music theory for sound healers, information on how to develop your sound, and tips for meditation as well. Go to zenwithben.me for more information, and please leave a review. Thanks for watching. Keep me posted. I want to hear what everyone's working on. Share your conversations.